Good day to you. This is Todd. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. Today we are going to be looking at Mark 14, and we're going to be reading verses 3 through 11. Okay, yesterday we had covered 1 and 2. Today we're talking about Jesus being anointed at Bethany. So this passage actually is a parallel passage to John 12, verses 1 through 11. And it's a good teaching here. But then I heard the teaching from Pastor Carl Dixon at Calvary Chapel, Sarasota, and that is from June 28th. So listen to that if you want more details on this passage. He gives more details on it. John gives more details. The Gospel of John gives more details on this passage. Remember, Mark he's kind of just given some details of action that are happening here in Jesus's life, and so we're gonna let's go ahead and read. This is chapter 14 of Mark, and we're reading verses 3 through 11. And if you have your Bibles, you can get them going here. So, while he was in Bethany, reclining at the table in the home of Simon the leper, a woman came with an alabaster jar of expensive perfume made of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured the perfume on his head. Let me stop there for a moment. Mark just says a woman at Bethany. We know from the Gospel of John that this was Mary, okay? This would have been Mary, the sister to Martha and the sister to Lazarus. So this was at her house that happened. Anyway, that's who this woman is that poured the perfume on there. Now, the perfume that was poured on there, it was an alabaster jar, and what you would do is you would, a smaller jar, but you would break the top of it. It didn't, have the screw cap like we have today, but you'd break the top of that off, and then it would be all there. And that perfume was about a year's wages. So imagine with me, it's like, according to what Pastor Carl had talked about in the passage of John, about $30,000 to $40,000. Okay, so you have a jar of perfume worth that amount. Now, what people would do is this: they would buy that perfume as more of an investment, and not like, oh yeah, I want to use a $30,000 or $40,000 worth of perfume. But they would buy it as an investment, and then it's a good handy thing to keep and hide and whatever, and use it for retirement, or when you can't do anything anymore. Then you could easily sell that thing. So it's a good commodity, just like if I was to have a block of gold, or whatever. So it's something easy. I can buy easily and I can sell it easily. So you have that perfume. And so many people would have it more as an investment. So when she goes and busts it open and then pours it on Jesus, people are going to be like, what? All that money? Well, let's see what happens here, okay? Verse 4, some of those present were saying indignantly to one another, why this waste of perfume? It could have been sold for more than a year's wages, and the money given to the poor. And they rebuked her harshly, okay? So, like I said, it was about a year's wages, okay? Leave her alone, said Jesus. Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them in any way you want, but you will not always have me. She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare me for burial. Truly, I tell you, whenever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her. Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went to the chief priests to betray Jesus to them. They were delighted to hear this and promised to give him money. So he watched for an opportunity to hand him over. Okay. It's funny about Judas here that he's all upset about spending the money like that. Or using that money could have been given to the poor, and then he's eager to get some money to betray Jesus, driven by money. What I want us to see from this passage here is this one phrase. The world does not understand you worshiping or serving Jesus. Okay? This was really an act of worship to Jesus, her pouring that perfume on him. And, in John it says she rubbed it in with her hair and so forth. So it was an act of worship and serving Jesus. And the people all around there didn't understand that. They were like, oh, what are you doing? You're wasting all this perfume and stuff. And they didn't understand it. But Mary understood it. And those closest to Jesus, I'm assuming, probably understood it too. But Jesus definitely understood it. And he defended her, and said, whoa, don't criticize her. She's doing this in honor of me. And actually, to prepare me for my burial. Okay, so right here again, he's making it very clear that he's going to die. Okay, so anyway, people won't understand you worshiping or serving Jesus. They just won't. Several years ago, quite a while ago actually, Myrna and I were talking to a business consultant about selling a business. So the business we had, given tithed like normal and stuff and given to the church. So when the business consultant looked at the income and liabilities and everything else and figured it all up, he was looking down through there and he was going, whoa, wait a minute here. You've given like this much to the church. I'm like, yeah, what's the big deal? He was like, but that doesn't reflect real good on like the sale of the business. You've got this, all the income here, and then your expenses, and then you've given this away. That doesn't look good and stuff. Like, well, I don't care. That's what we're doing. And he said, you don't have to give all that to the church and stuff. Like, yeah, we do. Okay. So the thing was, giving that amount of money to the church was a foreign concept to him. And he was like, why would you ever do that? It's because we love the Lord. That's why. All right. And the Lord has commanded us to do that. So it's just not a big deal. But for him, it was like a foreign concept, like UFOs flying from space or something like that. So he didn't understand it. And the thing is, today, people aren't going to understand you worshiping God. They have a hard time understanding why you're going to church on Sunday. Okay. They're not going to understand you worshiping God or serving God. Okay. Being a foreign missionary. People are like, why do you want to go to Cuba or Africa or wherever and serve the Lord there and preach to those people? I'm like, because that's what God has called us to do. They don't understand. So anyway, just encouragement to you. Some people, they just don't understand, and that's the way it is. And God has showed us that through this passage here. People won't understand fully you serving or worshiping the Lord. All right. Thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I will see you tomorrow as we continue our walk through the Word. I'm just a regular dude. See you then. Blessings.